Music in the morning. Hey yo, welcome back. This is Ty Ty. So today, got a little change of view, but I wanted to go over a couple things that I haven't gone over yet, and that's optimizing your home setup to get the best possible results, tracking, mixing, mastering, the whole nine. And there's a lot of things that I've seen in videos around, kind of just give you tips on gear, little tweaks here and there, but I wanted to really break some things down and just get into the kind of nitty gritty and things that I've kind of personally had to find out along the way. So for starters, everybody knows you need a mic, an interface, and a Mac. And there's so many different budget-friendly things that you can really get into and still get a quality sound. I still swear by a Focusrite Scarlett. They just dropped the new gen, and I had the third gen before I upgraded to the Apollo. Absolutely loved it. So let's go ahead and start with soundproofing. Do you have enough money for sound panels? Most of us do not. They're not cheap. Would I advise going with a chaotic eyeball or just another overpriced piece of foam? Personally, I would not. I have one, and I used it for a bit, and I will say that I was pleasantly fooled by it. Yes, it does, cut out background noise and things like that, and it's really secluded, but in that process, it makes the whole mix sound a lot colder, almost to me like claustrophobic, because it's just so tight in there. There's no room to breathe or anything. And even in like a professional studio, you're in a room and like there's more space and things like that to allow the frequencies to just kind of branch out and kind of dissipate. This is just real blunt. And I noticed that even just the moment you put that on, you got to back your gain off because everything is instantly triple to 4 times louder. So you just got to be careful with that. But in my personal opinion, as you can see around me, I just bought a bunch of cheap foam off of Amazon, the little sound panels. And yeah, eventually I'd like to upgrade to actual panels. But for now, and I don't own this house, so this to me, it's easy to take down, and it gets the job done. And it's literally every square inch of this room, even the doors, except for the window, because I gotta have my AC unit going. It gets hot in the summer. But I would say I may have spent $200, $225 in panels, and those chaotic eyeballs are like what, $150, $175 a piece. That I might be shooting a little high on that, but the price range is not that far off to get a big drastic difference between the two. Now with your monitors, I highly suggest investing in a good pair of monitors. I got the Kali LP6s and the Atom Audio T5Vs. Both of those, they go for about $350 a pair. Now when it comes to setting them up, you definitely want to kind of take some things into consideration, and there's software out there to try to tune them to the room. But as far as, you don't want them on your desk. You want to get them up off of your desk. It cuts down on vibration. It just sounds a lot nicer, and you get more of a true sound when it comes to mixing. Now, I would firmly suggest don't put them directly up against the wall. It's kind of hard to tell from here, but I have them about a foot and a half away from the wall, and that just because the Kalis they breathe through the front, but the Atom Audios do breathe through the back. Now with that being said, you can build up pressure and things like that, and it just sounds funky. Like when I got the Kalis first, I had them a lot closer to the wall, and they just didn't sound right, so I had to pull them away a little bit, and I ended up tuning them in. The Atom Audios, I know I cut 2 dB off the low end and boosted 2 dB on the high pass, and they sound absolutely phenomenal. Now when it comes to your mic, placement is key, and I personally really like this little desk mount. It gets everywhere I need it to, and when I don't need it, I can push it right out of the way, and it's good to go. You don't want to be too close, you don't want to be too far away. Kind of rule of thumb is about a fist length away, and I typically try to keep my pop filter about that distance, and then granted when I'm holding notes or a little more singing, I'll even back up off of that. but you get too close, even with a pop filter, sometimes you'll get those bursts of air and get pops and plosives, and it can really bring down the quality of your recording. Now, when it comes to recording, you want to make sure that you're getting a strong signal. You don't want to be clipping, but you don't want to be too low that the noise floor is too close to the signal that you're getting, because then when you go to mix, you're going to be bringing all of that up. Hitting about -10 on my beat, so I turn that down. And then my mic is anywhere from -18 to like -13. It keeps it in that nice sweet spot, and you can just really work with it from there. It's malleable, and you're going to get a nice clean response. Now, one other thing too that I did forget is with your monitors. Like I said, you really want to invest in some good stands, but whether it's stands that are on your desk or behind your desk, you want to make sure that they're raised up. So you want your tweeter to be right at about ear level, and then you angle them as triangles, so then you're sitting right at the end of that triangle, if not right in front of it, and then you're getting all those frequencies, and it really makes the process a lot easier when it comes to mixing, because if they're not set up, you can be missing certain things, and then you can be lied to. So then you go ahead and throw it in the car, and you're hyped, your mix is all ready to go, and it just doesn't transfer over the same. And we've all been there, but if I can save somebody from having to go through that process with just that detail, I'm willing to do it. And then when it comes to your cords and your cables and everything, I wouldn't skimp out and go with the $5 special from Amazon. Make sure you get a decent cable. You ain't got to go the most expensive, but get something that's reliable. You're going to get a better sound quality, and you're not going to run into just flimsy cables to where you're getting shorts, and then you're having to fiddle with your mic every time you go to record. Same as like you're not up on your monitor tapping it to try to get it to come back in. It just creates a strong, reliable connection and makes everything a lot simpler from there. Now, one thing I would advise too, as far as a desk, make sure that you don't get a corner desk. For years I had a corner desk and I didn't know any different, but the way the frequencies bounce off of the walls, it can really ruin some things and definitely lie to you when it comes to mixing. So you want it to be basically, this room's almost square. So whether I was to have it on any wall, it's going to be the same distance. So say you have a room that's more like a rectangle. You would want to sit on the shortest wall and then have the longest opposite wall away from you. You're just going to get the best results when it comes to that. Now, I know there's a lot of gimmicks out there, and it's really hard to wade through all the different things that you should do and shouldn't do, but let's just keep it simple. Get a decent mic, some decent monitors, a decent interface, and a good computer. You can work wonders with that. Now, if you are in an environment where, say, you got a lot of things going on, or you got neighbors and you can't really play your music too loud. Granted, I don't mix super loud. I like to enjoy it loud afterwards, but I don't like ear fatigue and just kind of wearing myself out too quickly. So I will mix at a lower level, which a lot of people swear by that. A good set of headphones can also do wonders for you, but I like to have the option of both. But when it's all said and done, you will find your own little niche. And you don't always have to go the most expensive route to get the best results. I am very pleased with the results that I'm able to get out of this room. And I've had homies over that actually work in studios. And I mean, hey, one of them's driving an hour and a half to come record here. Now, to me, that's saying something. Now, with everything out there, there's all types of people swearing by this and swearing by that. But as long as you have a decent mic, an interface, some decent monitors, and a reliable computer, you'll be set. I strongly suggest in doing at least some soundproofing. Now with my ceiling, I actually have one of the cloud ceilings, and it really does help with reflections also, because a lot of times your ceiling can be your biggest enemy. But when everything's all said and done, you do want to work within your budget. You don't want to go super deep in the hole just trying to get everything the best you can. Build it up step for step. Like, I'm actually recording right now off of an older microphone. It's my Rode NT1. Absolutely love that mic. But I upgraded to the TLM 103, and the same with everything else. I went from the audio box to the Focusrite, and then now I'm at the Apollo. Same with my mics. Before, my original mic was Audio Technica 2020. I do not miss that mic, but you can get the job done with that thing. And then, KRKs were my first monitors, and I actually just recently swapped those out for the Atoms. So just kind of work within your budget, but keep these techniques in mind. Set up your triangle, keep your speakers away from the wall. Make sure that you're not recording too hot, not recording too cold. And if you keep all of those things in mind, you're going to get the absolute best possible sound for what you're working with. But like I always say, let's build together, let's grow together. This is Ty Ty bringing you radio quality music from home. I'm going to catch you next week. Peace.